Hello students, let's talk about chapter 10 and read this chapter. New Empires and Kingdoms, second, Harshvardhan. In this chapter you will study about the rise of a new empire in north, important rulers of Vardhana dynasty, Harshvardhan and his rule, administration, religion and social condition, economic condition, Nalanda University, fall of Vardhana dynasty. The rise of a new empire in the north. After the decline of Gupta Empire, many kingdoms became powerful in both north and south. India. The kingdom of Harsha was dominated in the north, Chalukyas ruled in the south. In the Deccan, the Pallavas were powerful in the south. The breakup of the Gupta Empire was followed by the period of disorder. Small kingdoms fought against one another. Finally, Harshvardhana conquered these kingdoms and established a powerful empire. This is the image of Harshvardhan. Important rulers of Vardhan dynasty. Prabhakar Vardhan, 580 AD to 605 AD. He conquered many places and established a large kingdom. He married his beloved daughter Rajshri to Grihavarman, the ruler of Kannauj, UP. Rajyavardhan, 605 AD to 606 AD. He became the ruler of Thanesar after the death of his father, Prabhakar Vardhan. Shashank, the ruler of Bengal, killed him. Harshvardhan, 606 AD to 647 AD. Harshvardhan was crowned as the king of Thanesar, Haryana in 606 AD. He was only 16 years old at that time. His achievements are known to us through the writings of Banabhatta, who wrote Harshcharita. We get more information from the report given by Yin Sang, a Chinese traveler. Harsha's empire extended from Punjab, Kashmir and Nepal in the north to the river Narmada in the south. Kannauj was the capital city of Harsha, which was made a cultural center. Harsha traveled all over his kingdom and was very popular among his subjects. He followed Buddhism and built stupas and monasteries. He organized the 5th Buddhist Council in AD 643. Around 20,000 pilgrims attended the assembly. Huan Sang was the main spokesperson of the assembly. This map is showing Harshvardhan Empire. We know about this period mainly from 4 sources: contemporary inscriptions, coins and some rock edicts, travel accounts of Yuan Sang, Harshcharit written by Banabhatta, Priyadarshika, Naganand and Ratnavali written by Harsha himself. Administration. The king was all-powerful. He was the head of the judicial and civil administration. He was also the commander-in-chief of his army and led his forces in war like the Guptas. He had a council of ministers to assist and advise him. His ministers were known as Sachiv or Amatya. The provinces were also known as Bhukti or Desh. They were divided into Vishyas or Pradesh. Uparika was the head of the province. His work was supervised by Uparika Maharaja or Kumar Matya, who was normally a prince. Gramik looked after the needs of the villages. He was the head of the village. Other officials helped the Gramik. Harsha built temples, chaityas, viharas, dharmshalas, schools, etc. Nalanda University granted the income that the king received from 200 villages for its development and maintenance. Religion. Harsha was a devotee of Shiva and worshipped Shiva and Surya. Some coins have been found in Farrukhabad, UP, bearing image of Parvati and Shiv. But there was a great impact of Buddhism on him. When he came in close contact with Hian Sang, he was very tolerant and respectful towards all the religions. Vaishnavism and Shaivism were the most popular sects of Hinduism during this period. Harsha organized a conference at Prayag, Allahabad, the Sangam of Ganga, Jamuna and Saraswati every 5 years. On this occasion, he used to give dan to about 1 lakh needy and poor people of all religions. Harsha used to give away all his wealth and belongings, clothes, ornaments, etc. collected during the last 5 years. He would then request his sister Rajshri to give him clothes to wear. This was repeated every 5 years at the time of Magh Mela at Prayag. Social condition. The society at the time of Harsha was mainly divided into 4 varnas as Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. Brahmins were highly respected. People lived peacefully, but the Shudras had to live outside the towns. Economic condition. The economy was well developed and people led a prosperous and happy life. Kapisha was the center of international trade. It was well flourished. Tamralyapti was a famous port for foreign trade. Agriculture was the main occupation of the people at that time. People had to pay 1/6 of the produce as a tax. Nalanda University was an international center of education. It was situated at Rajgir near Patna, Bihar. Students from all over the world came to study at Nalanda. It had a very large library. The Vardhan Empire lost its glory after the death of Harsha in 647 AD. There was a rise of many independent kingdoms after his death. In the south, the Chalukyas and Pallavas became more powerful. This is the image of Nalanda University. Let's summing up this chapter. Harshvardhana was crowned as the king of Thanesar, Haryana in 606 AD. Banbhatta wrote Harshacharita. Priyadarshika, Nagananda and Ratnavali were written by Harsha himself. Harsha was a devotee of Shiva and worshipped Shiva and Surya. Tamralyapti was a famous port for foreign trade. Agriculture was the main occupation in the Vardhan Empire. The Vardhan Empire lost its glory after the death of Harsha in 647 AD. Thank you, class. Let's meet for the next chapter.